common question or mix-up that happens with learning how to manage your ribs and abdominals with breathing so you can have your abdominals that support you well is the misconception that you shouldn't breathe into your chest, because we always hear, oh, use your diaphragm, breathe into your belly. And if you've watched my other videos or you've worked with me, you know that for most people, actually belly breathing is not beneficial because it's teaching you to not co-contract your abdominals upon inhalation, which is necessary for stabilizing your entire body while you're upright and moving, especially while doing active things. And also it teaches us to not move our rib cage when we breathe, and our rib cage becomes rigid, which creates all sorts of other problems. So where do we want to breathe? Where do we want to put air into? So when we say we don't want to breathe into our chest, that means we don't want our lower ribs to be popping up and down when we breathe. So inhale, ribs go up, exhale, ribs go down. That's what we don't want, because that means our neck is kind of pulling our ribs up to get air in. That's a fight or flight response. It's a tension response. It's a response to that stiffness we get in our rib cage from belly breathing. So what we really want is those lower front ribs here to stay down, in and back. And when we inhale, if we can maintain that relatively, our air will come here into our upper apical chest and into our lower back ribs, which is called your posterior mediastinum. So when I tell people blow out and then try to keep those lower front ribs relatively down when you breathe in, often the response or the feeling is, well, where am I supposed to put my air? If we're really used to putting air in there, these zones, your apical zone, and especially your posterior mediastinum will get tight. So you're working on bringing those lower front ribs down and in. And then can you keep that relatively down and in as you inhale into your apical chest and your posterior mediastinum? You can work on these one at a time. If you lie on your back with a towel, flat towel kind of underneath your posterior mediastinum area, or if you're sitting against a chair, you can feel that area expand. But it's really important to just think about blowing all the way out through your mouth, feeling those lower front ribs soften down, and then don't let them pop back up when you breathe in. So they'll move a little bit because your whole rib cage should move when you breathe in, right? You just don't want that to just pop right back up again, or your belly to poof out when you inhale. An important reminder, we never want to force anything. We want to create change through consistency, not force. So be gentle with yourself. Take your time with this, especially if you're used to bringing your front ribs up and down when you're breathing. Just work on, getting your air all the way out, feeling those ribs come down, and then just any amount, sensing air into your lower back ribs when you breathe in. And that will generally also result in apical expansion if these ribs aren't popping up in the front, and this I find is a little harder to feel. So hope this is helpful. Try it out. Let me know how it works out for you.